A very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on Channel 1 MTV. Taking a look at your headlines, individual arrested at the Karnataka airport while attempting to smuggle a stash of foreign currency to Japan. The last US combat brigade exits Iraq. Second rounder tri-series encounter between Sri Lanka and New Zealand to take place today. Now for those stories in detail, an individual was arrested at the Karnataka International Airport today while attempting to smuggle a stash of foreign currency to Japan. According to airport custom officials, the money was discovered in the individual's luggage. Japanese yen amounting to 4.3 million rupees had been found in the possession of this individual. The suspect is a resident of Ambilipitia. The airport custom authorities are conducting further investigations into the incident. A stock of roofing equipment for resettlement purposes in the northern province was granted to the Sri Lankan government by India.
The stock of roofing equipment was handed over yesterday by the Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Ashok Kanta, to the Minister of Economic Development, Basil Rajapaksa, in Colombo. The roofing equipment, which was given as aid, is worth over 300 million rupees. The Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka stated that roofing equipment worth 893 million rupees has been provided to Sri Lanka by India up to date.
This is the last and the third stock which is given by the Indian government and the people of India to Sri Lankan people who are displaced in the north, and it will be very helpful to resettle all the IDPs who have been displaced. And I must thank the government of India and again the High Commissioner and also all the officials in the Indian government and the High Commission.
And during the visit of His Excellency Mahinda Rajapaksa, President of Sri Lanka, to India in June this year, we agreed to continue to provide our support in the work of resettlement and reconstruction. As part of that exercise, as Honourable Minister mentioned, we'll be helping reconstruct 50,000 houses in the north and the east of Sri Lanka. We are looking forward to visit of Honourable Minister Mr. Basil Rajapaksa to India next week, when we'll hold detailed discussions on these issues, as also on the issue of our involvement in reconstruction of infrastructure in the north, including railway network, port and airport. We're looking forward to Honourable Minister's visit to India.
A three-wheeler driver has been killed in a road accident in the Debagama area in the Hiovita Avisawala. 3 others were also injured in the accident. The police said that the accident had occurred at around 5:20 this morning. The accident had occurred when a private bus plying from Kegol to Kudnagala and a three-wheeler travelling from Dharaniyagala to Karavanalla collided head-on. The driver of the three-wheeler had been killed on the spot, while the injured were admitted to the Karavanalla base hospital. A hospital spokesperson said a child who was in critical condition had subsequently been transferred to the Colombo National Hospital. The driver of the bus has been arrested over the accident. A ceremony which was organized by the Sri Lanka UN office concurrent to the World Humanitarian Day was held today. The ceremony was held under the patronage of Minister Basil Rajapaksa.
We also would like to thank finally to all who have helped us, and we would like to work with you all. Those there, we have differences, but we are members of UN and we want to work with you all. And we hope we can achieve the final target where everybody live in peace and safe.
The Tangol Special Operations Unit has raided 2 marijuana cultivations in the Middenia, Thorakolaya and Kudagurara areas and had arrested 2 suspects. The police said that the suspects will be produced before the Amlipiti Magistrates Court today. A team from the Tangol Special Operations Unit, headed by an Assistant Superintendent of Police, had raided a marijuana cultivation located on a private land in the Thokorulaya area in Madenia. The cultivation, which had spanned across a quarter-acre area, had included around 10,000 marijuana plants. While one suspect had been arrested at the location, a water pump and several horses found there had also been taken into police custody. The Tangol Special Operations Unit had handed over the cultivation to the Amblipitia police and subsequently set it on fire. Meanwhile, the Tangol Special Operations Unit had carried out another raid and destroyed marijuana cultivation in the Kuda Ara area. A suspect had been arrested at this location as well. The suspended bridge across the Soroboro River in Mahiyangane has become dilapidated to such an extent that area residents have been severely inconvenienced. Over 700 families use this bridge on a daily basis. Residents of the Watavana and Mukulgalola villages on the other side of the Soroboro River use this bridge to travel to the Mahiyangane town. The villagers point out that this is the shortest route between the villages and the town. But the wires on this bridge are rusted and the wooden planks are falling off. The villagers request the authorities either provide them with an alternative or a concrete bridge.
There is a road on the other side. That's the Kote road. If you take that route, it's about 7 or 8 kilometers. Our only problem is nothing is being done to restore the bridge or even fix the broken planks.
Even if you fix the planks, it doesn't last. People who come to the lake during Poya remove them. We use byroads to take our children across. This child got injured when I was bringing him in the morning. He was scratched by a tree branch.
This is the closest route to take the goods to the market or to take a patient across. We are the ones who suffer because of the damage caused by visitors to the lake.
When he spoke to the Department of Irrigation regarding the renovation work on this bridge, an officer there stated that the Mapkadeva office of the department has been informed to provide an estimate of the fund required for this purpose. The Irrigation Department assured that once this estimate is received, swift measures will be taken to renovate this bridge. Taking a look at the headline-making stories in the international arena, Moed pledged for flood-hit Pakistan and the last US combat brigade exits Iraq.
More aid pledges for Pakistan have come through after complaints that the international community's response to the devastating floods were inadequate. The European Union promised an extra $39 million following higher commitments from Australia and Japan, while the Islamic Development Bank pledged $11.2 million. The UN has said it has now raised nearly half of the $460 million it needs for initial relief efforts. Meanwhile, new flood warnings have been issued in some areas of Pakistan. Pakistani authorities say as many as 20 million people are affected by the floods. The UN says 6 million desperately need emergency aid, but most still have not received it. Tens of thousands of villages remain underwater.
The last brigade of U.S. combat has been withdrawn from Iraq, bringing combat operation to an end in a war that has lasted for more than 7 years and claimed the lives of more than 4,000 U.S. troops. The brigade that left the country early this morning, 2 weeks before an August 31st deadline for the end of Operation Iraqi Freedom, pledged by Barack Obama on taking office. Over the course of the week, soldiers from the 4th Striker Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division, have driven hundreds of vehicles from Camp Victory near Baghdad Airport to Camp Virginia in Kuwait. Their withdrawal brings to an end a controversial and a bloody operation that began with the American shock and awe bombing campaign of Baghdad in March 2003 and saw the U.S. military endure some of the heaviest fighting it had seen for a generation. About 60,000 U.S. troops will remain in the country in an advisory capacity, helping to train Iraqi forces in a new mission codenamed Operation New Dawn, which will run till the end of 2011. This is Geeta De Silva reporting for News First from New York, USA.